3.
What do you think if you had to go all out 1 mile? What's your time?
Like 1 mile.
All out. Like
track,
that's it.
On a track?
Yeah, track.
Like today, right now?
You breaking 10?
Do I get a little like warm-up lap?
You can get as loose as you need.
Okay. Oh yeah, I think I could do 7.
You think you can run a 7:30?
Mm-hmm. Once.
You think you can run a 7? You average 12 and a half minutes for 4. You think you could just shave 5 minutes off of a mile?
It's brother to brother.
Remember? Okay, so our next door neighbor, Trevor. Do you remember how he ate French toast?
Why would I remember that?
Because it's so bizarre.
Which, by the way, it's so funny because, like, I think
we had a lot of poor French toast is not.
Well, but hold on. But like, I think in general, if people that knew us would think that I would obsess more about the micro thing, and you would be more like broad strokes. But it's kind of the opposite. You remember these minute things? I'm like, what the fuck? Why would I?
Weird, specific things.
So he ate French toast. What do you mean? How he made it?
So they cook French toast.
By the way, can I also? You just remember something. There was a time where like a lot of really young kids were just making French toast.
Yeah, a lot of French toast.
Why were we making? I remember making you
because it was easy.
Egg, but
we would be like milk and drop your bread in.
Like 12 and making French toast.
That's why it stands out to me.
Okay, so but he also made. I thought that was like a unique to us thing.
No,
I thought we were advanced.
No, he made it. So you do a normal French toast. You batter. You cook the French toast. What do you put on it? There's 3 ingredients.
So I'm going.
There's only 3 accepted. Butter.
Cinnamon, sugar. I count as one ingredient.
You go cinnamon and sugar?
Like a mixture.
Okay.
But cinnamon heavy.
Yeah.
And syrup.
Syrup. Yeah. Right. Okay. He would do salt.
I'm only quiet because I'm trying to feel this flavor. The easy thing here is how fucking remarkably absurd this is. Salt. No. So he would do. So it's just
French toast with
egg toast with salt.
No butter. No, just salt.
But I guess it's got the egg. Maybe that's good. Because eggs, you would put salt on your eggs, right? It's egg heavy.
Yeah.
But where did he learn that?
I don't know, man. His dad.
Maybe it's good.
Here's what I remember about it.
Maybe we should do. Do you think next episode we should make some French toast?
French toast with salt.
We'll do like a small.
It'll sound terrible.
We'll do a small film of us making French toast, and we'll try with salt and just
throwing
up on everything. Oh, dude, I never forget this. Speaking of eggs, remember like watching Rocky and he drinks the raw eggs, and like a week later I tried it, dude. Just
did you really?
Fucking projectile. Like, how?
Did you really?
Oh yeah.
Oh, that's a horrible idea.
Horrible. French toast and salt. That's a weird one.
Yeah, that's one of the weirder ones I've ever seen.
You know what I've done? I moved away from, which is really weird. I don't really know why it sort of happened. I just do pancakes and butter. I don't do any no syrup.
Yeah, my wife does that too.
No syrup.
No syrup.
Yeah.
With waffles too.
Well, that's un-American.
My son does the Eggo waffles. We just heat them up in the microwave and then just tear in pieces and he just eats.
Well, your son's an animal, dude.
He is an animal. He just ripped down a bird bath on his face.
He did.
There's a big old like.
Do you think he's starting to though, like those things, or they seem tragic? Be like, hopefully he's learning that things fall.
Yeah, he is.
You have a real boy on your hands.
Yeah, he loves being outdoors.
Yeah,
and he just turned 2. If he is doing something that is incredibly dangerous, I will tell him to stop, and then I will remove him from it.
Because he will do it.
And within 10 seconds, he will be back over there, and then he will hit his head on something. And then he will, but when he cries, he yells, boo, boo. So it's this like really bad injury.
Boo,
but
boo.
He's just
bleeding out.
It's just like.
Well, I was talking.
But he's honestly the sweetest kid. His cousin is super sick, and she throws up, and he's like, no. He's like wants her to feel the yeah. He's like a very, but she is also to him. So like they have this really like sweet little relationship. It's like the best, and it's just been cultivated. I don't know. It's very,
because they're
very
almost
loving.
like brother sister because they spend
they're
every
very
day together,
and they're
right?
close in age.
Well, I was talking.
They're the same size.
I was talking to Mom about our niece, our sister's kid, who's 4, and your kid AJ, who's 2, and I was like, Mom, you know the main difference between the two of them? And then she says, what? Is like AJ's gonna have a lot of staple scars in his head.
Yeah.
He's gonna be just.
I showed her a picture of his injury, and she texted me and she goes, "That's how you were." I guess I mean I have a scar on my forehead from when I was like 4. I guess I tripped in the street and just slammed my head and had the broken nose.
Your center of gravity was off.
No, I had no muscular system. It was just I walked with skeletal structure. By the way, I saw this old guy one time.
When do you think you got no muscle? You're like 18.
I don't know if I ever grew muscles.
No, what I mean is I was
skinny until I was in my 30s, and then it's just kind of fatty.
Oh, you went from like rock and roll skinny to doughy.
Yeah, I went from like
you went
Mick
from like
Jagger to Blues Traveler.
No, you went from Mick Jagger. No, let's give you like a Jimmy Buffett.
Jimmy Buffett. Is Jimmy Buffett like plump?
No, he's like a regular, like a regular you and I look like regular adults.
Yeah.
Like we're not unhealthy people.
We're
not, or let's put it, we're not egregiously unhealthy people.
I think people are surprised when they see me in person how big I am.
You're a big dude.
Yeah. Like
super fat.
Yeah.
Like kind of honestly, sometimes it's a little gross.
Yeah. Like Bert Kreischer is probably my only comparable.
Well, how heavy are you?
Like 203, 204, something like that. I'm not that big.
Yeah, so you're
Bert Kreischer.
You're not that big, David. You're only 50 pounds heavier than me.
Yeah.
No, it's not true. See, I'm about 190.
Yeah. No, I mean, I think
which means I'm more obese than you.
The height, weight, size, broadness. Like, I think people are more surprised.
I was trying to explain this to the kids at school because they're like, they had got measured for some reason. I don't know what they had to do, but they're like, I'm 4'11". I'm 4'11". I was like, I started high school at 4'11". They're like, what?
Yeah. I
was like, yeah.
I was 5'4".
People grow.
Yeah. Let me throw you some statistics. You tell me if you
I love statistics.
Can you run a 12-minute mile?
Yeah, I ran 4 miles the other day at the race in 12.3.
What do you think if you had to go all out 1 mile? What's your time?
Like 1 mile,
all out. Like
track,
that's it
on a track.
Yeah, track.
Like like today, right now.
You breaking 10?
Do I get a little like warm up lap?
You can get as loose as you need.
Okay. Oh yeah, I think I could do 7.
You think you can run a 7:30?
Mm-hmm. Once.
You think you can run a 7? You average 12.5 minutes for 4. You think you could just shave 5 minutes off of a mile?
Yeah, because the truth
this is how middle-aged guys drop dead. This is why women don't drop dead, because no woman goes, I average a 12.5. Let me shave 5 minutes off. That's crazy.
Let me edit that. I will say firmly.
Yeah.
It's 1 mile.
1 mile.
It's
4 laps. We're saying 4 laps around the track.
Group of people. One of you has a stopwatch, and people are watching.
You got to go 4 laps. Yeah, yeah.
Like not me alone. There's a competitiveness.
Sure, competitiveness.
Okay. I think that I would tell you I'll do 8 minus.
Okay, under 8.
8 or under.
Here's how.
And I will say I actually know that I can do that because I actually have done this recently.
You ran an 8-minute mile?
Yeah.
Okay.
Because the truth is like the reason you run so much slower for 4 has nothing to do with like how like my cardio is. I might smoke cigarettes and I'm fine. It's just my fucking hip flexors give out. Like I can't. My body's just like not used to running. But when Dan and I used to run back east a few years ago, he would run 6.5s and I would run like 7.5s. But that would be for like 6 miles.
And it was in hills and stuff.
And it was in hills. So like if I was in track.
Yeah, track. I'm
doing 8 because what I'm learning with running these 5Ks now that I'm an elite athlete. I know I am because I have medals.
Right. Yeah, you have 2 medals.
Yeah, I've got 2 medals.
You almost have a top 10 finish.
Is understanding what the distance is like in reality.
Yeah,
it makes it easier to run fast. Because like when you start, you're like, oh, I got to run 3 miles. You're like, you start way slower because you're just not aware of what 3 miles is.
Yeah.
But once you start running it more, it's like you're like, oh, I could have done that way faster.
All right.
And by the way, if you want, we could test this.
8-minute mile pace. That means
no. I can do 8 minutes.
1 mile. 1 mile.
1 mile, and I'm done for the day.
Yeah, right.
No. 2. Once you go to 2, I think the lowest. Like,
do you think you can complete 1 lap before? Do you think you could complete 1 lap? I put you in the Olympic finals.
Okay.
Of the 800,
which I deserve.
Okay. So it's the Olympic finals.
We went through this before.
Of the 800.
Before somebody else runs.
But you have to finish. You get the gold if you
before they run the 800.
You're the everyman in the Olympic final.
Which, by the way, I think they should totally do. Every Olympic event, every single event should have a guy
that's the reference.
That's the reference to be like, because like, okay, shot put, right? You're like,
right.
Well, it doesn't seem like they threw it that far.
Right.
So you're like, no, we get another, what's the average height and weight?
Yes.
You find that average height and weight, average American in that height and weight, and you're like, throw this stone. And then we'll be like, those guys are throwing it, 60 meters, and that guy's going to throw a 4.
I want to see, the U.S. national championships. Yes. So there should just be the everyman, right? So you're the everyman for the 800. You have to complete half of the distance, the 400. If you finish the 400,
which is one lap,
you win.
Before the 800.
Before the 800 finishes.
What's the record?
140. Is it close? Because that's under your 2-minute per lap pace to hit an 8-minute mile.
But again, I got one lap.
Yep. Do you feel the pressure of them tracking you down?
I'm nervous now.
So they catch you before you get halfway.
Yeah, this goes back to the Cosby episode with FloJo when she smacks on the butt running, which is, by the way, one of the greatest episodes of television history, because he didn't know.
He did not know.
And if you don't know this, people that listen, Google, well, I don't know, don't Google Bill Cosby. Let me rephrase it.
All right.
No, you know what? I don't think is it weird that I'm like, okay, yeah, but also like.
I think you probably could do it.
Some of this stuff.
I think it'd be close.
Like, look, what's the statute of limitations? Like, I know that now I'll like listen to Michael Jackson songs and be fine with it.
Right. Well, R. Kelly, people just kept listening to his stuff.
Nobody stopped listening to R. Kelly.
Nah.
He was telling you that he was trapped. There, people were trapped in the closet. Where we supposed to could I do? I don't know.
I think you could, but here's what made it pop into my mind, because of how many of these I've seen all these people. They go, well, the WNBA season's about to start.
I can't wait. I'm so excited. But Diana Taurasi.
She's retiring, actually.
Oh, well, now I'm not going to watch.
But these these men that are like, they think they could come off the couch and like, here's what I would average. And there was a video of Caitlin Clark when she was at Iowa running with the Iowa practice squad. So these are like guys that played high school basketball that are out there.
She dominated.
They practice against the men's team, so the men have. Yeah. She scored 22 points in 2 minutes.
How do you do that?
Steals, three-pointer, just like
these are just regular dudes that were used to be kind of good at basketball.
Varsity high school athletes, guys that are probably could have played JC ball.
Yeah, I think when the guards with women and men, I think there's a lot less.
She's 6 foot tall and can shoot.
But there's a lot less disparity. I think where the men's basketball and really men's sport in general, where the ones that kind of really cross over is when the size difference, because like when you look at like what's the tallest WNBA player?
6'7", 6'8".
Right.
But like she's 6 foot. She's
I know, but so I think the guards in the WNBA can offensively play well against the men.
Right, but let's say you're the everyman.
Oh, me? Basketball?
You get subbed into
you get 6 weeks.
You get subbed into a USA National women's basketball game. Right now. How you doing?
Well, give me like some parameters.
It's full court women's basketball.
I got to run up and down.
Up and down.
What's my prep workout like in shape time? Because I don't think you can play basketball if you're not.
Yeah, I'm going to give you 6 weeks.
Okay, I got 6 weeks to get in shape. Okay, that's fighting shape. I can get in fighting shape.
So you got a camp.
Which, by the way, I say that as if I've ever fought.
That's
hilarious. All men talk about getting in fighting shape as if they've trained for a boxing match. Oh, well, how long? 9 weeks. Well,
of course,
fighting shape. 6.
Do you think you could win the 125-pound women's UFC title?
1,000% no.
Yeah.
what is her name, dude? I wish I feel really bad because
I would not want to get in a fight with those women.
Was on an airplane with a
Ronda Rousey.
No, but a female
like UFC fighter who
fights like a 125. This bitch was stacked like you would like her fucking shoulders, dude, were like fucking boom. Like you're like, there's no way that girl would destroy me in 2 seconds. My only chance on a 125 is tickle fighting. Like, I gotta tell you know what I'm saying? and then I would just lay on them. We call it escape. They don't teach this in jiu-jitsu, but we call it escape from Bear Mountain.
Yeah.
I like lay on them, and either they're gonna choke me out, or they gotta escape from Bear Mountain.
We go boneless.
Just go boneless. Dude. I go liveless. Boom. Because I do believe. I remember years ago I had a girlfriend who was like, I'm as strong as you, and I just like literally immediately I just fell on the floor lamp, and I was like, there's a fire. Get me to the door. You don't even get me outside the door. Dude, I'm dead. I'm toast.
Yeah.
But I think size really does matter in all aspects of life. Yeah. No, size matters with fights. So 125, the truth is, like, they're not going to knock me out. Those girls, no, but if she gets my back or if she gets me, I'm done.
They're going to hit you. You're going to get hit.
It'll feel hard, but they're not going to.
No, but that hit, if you're not.
There's a reason why there's not a lot of knockout. But you're going to get
stunned.
But there's not a lot. Oh, yeah. Oh, no. There's no errors here.
But then, so they hit you.
But if for whatever reason. If for whatever reason I move, block, stun.
Right, yeah.
That's my thing. Move, block, stun.
Right. You saw a lot of. I don't think, like, Wing Chun works.
No, dude, come at me. Move, block, stun. You see, dude?
McDojo.
Wing Chun is actually pretty fun. My friend and Andrew and I used to sit every morning at work, and we were like,
I always wanted one of those, like, wood dummies that they just hit in movies. It just seemed like.
I think my only chance in those fights. Outside of tickle fight,
Wing Chun would work.
Yeah,
because everybody Wing Chun.
Everybody Wing Chun. Yeah. Well, tonight.
It's fight night.
Is it fight night?
I think tomorrow.
125 is not a small person.
No, well, it would be a small man.
This person is. I'm fighting the women though.
Yeah.
Yeah. No, I'm not fighting a man. This person is a highly skilled martial artist.
Yes, they've trained their whole life.
Who understands basically. Wrestling, jiu-jitsu,
takedowns, elbows,
striking,
kicks to the legs.
Okay. First of all, kicks to the leg. I'm literally, you kick my shin, I take a knee. I go, we good. So that's how, okay, first of all, this is how they win.
Yeah.
Any kick to any part of my lower
extremity. Yeah, you're done.
Done.
Immediately.
They feint, I go for a punch, they dodge, chokehold, done. If they can get me, like, however, like, constrict me, they get me, I'm done.
Yeah.
Anything grappling, wrestling, that 125.
I think your only hope is they get on your back, they try and sink in a choke, you stand up and you just jump and try and pancake
like a back belly flop.
Just hope.
Yeah, dude.
Just hope.
Well, I think
that's your only shot.
I do know how to punch, and I actually can punch pretty hard. I think my only chance would be the quote unquote puncher's chance.
Yeah, and it's got to be like the first 20
and
seconds.
I would say that the keeping distance.
I watched the video.
I think I could keep distance.
There was for how long though? It's all the endurance.
No, but what I mean is like is that like I can get out of trouble. So I think I can.
Well, they are going to be smaller than you.
I could last around, but I would say the percentage of the women that would beat me that are elite athletes would. I mean, they humble me.
You're going to stun a couple.
Yeah,
but most of them.
So 125. Yeah, women's division,
top 20.
They're the top 20. The humble me that the percentage that I would lose, 0%.
It's brother to brother.